In the heart of a tranquil neighborhood, where whispers of secrets mingled with the gentle rustling of leaves, a haunting silence descended upon 37 Elm Street. The setting sun cast long shadows that danced across the front yard, as if it too held its breath in anticipation. Detective Sarah Lawson, with her piercing eyes and unwavering determination, arrived at the scene. Her footsteps fell in measured beats on the cobblestone path, creating an eerie rhythm that mirrored the unease in the air. Before her, the quaint suburban home stood in stark contrast to the sinister secrets it concealed. Its windows, adorned with lace curtains, revealed nothing of the horrors that lurked within. With a creak of the front door, the scene unfolded before her eyes, a tableau of tragedy etched in the rhythms of chaos. The victim lay sprawled on the living room floor, surrounded by fragments of shattered glass and shattered lives. Sarah approached the lifeless body, her heart heavy with the knowledge that a melody of despair now echoed in this once happy home. The victim's vacant eyes seemed to plead for answers, while the crimson pool that encircled them sang a mournful song of finality. Around the room, the disarray bore witness to a desperate struggle. Furniture lay overturned, and cherished mementos shattered. The scent of violence hung in the air like a discordant note in an otherwise peaceful symphony. Sarah's gloved hand reached out to touch a single petal from a vase of now forgotten flowers. She felt the fragility of life, juxtaposed against the brutality of death. The rhythm of her own heartbeat quickened as she began to piece together the fragments of this grim composition. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a shroud of darkness over the crime scene, Sarah knew that her journey had just begun. The investigation into this mysterious murder would be a symphony of secrets, a rhythm of unraveling the unknown, where every piece of evidence had a story to tell. And so, in the eerie silence of that fateful evening, Detective Sarah Lawson set in motion the pursuit of justice, determined to unearth the truth hidden within the rhythms of the crime scene. As the night sky stretched its ebony canvas over the crime scene, Detective Sarah Lawson's arrival had cast an enigmatic shadow of purpose. She stood, a solitary figure, under the flickering street lamp, her silhouette woven into the rhythms of uncertainty. The once peaceful neighborhood had become a symphony of whispers, the residents exchanging hushed tones and wary glances as Sarah's presence loomed. Her reputation as a relentless investigator had preceded her, and the community held its collective breath, wondering if she would unravel the dark notes that had shattered their tranquility. Sarah approached the front door, her footsteps echoing the rhythm of resolve. The threshold held the secrets of the night, and with a deliberate push, the door swung open, creaking like an eerie melody of anticipation. Inside, the living room still bore the scars of the earlier discord, a composition of chaos awaiting her interpretation. Sarah's keen eyes scanned the room, each detail etching itself into her memory like a haunting refrain. With a gloved hand, she examined the shattered fragments of a family portrait, its broken glass mirroring the fractured lives that once called this place home. The rhythms of sorrow and anger seemed to seep from the very walls. Sarah's thoughts, like a somber melody, danced with theories and questions. Who could have committed such a heinous act, and what motives lay hidden beneath the surface? The rhythms of her mind swirled in a dissonant symphony, seeking harmony within the cacophony of the unknown. Beyond the living room, the home held its own secrets. A bedroom cloaked in shadows, a kitchen that had witnessed both laughter and strife. Each room was a chapter in this macabre tale, waiting to be unraveled. Outside, the night breeze carried with it a mournful song, as if the very winds whispered hints of truth. Sarah knew that the answers to this mysterious murder lay hidden within the rhythms of the crime scene, waiting to be uncovered. As she prepared to delve deeper into the investigation, the detective couldn't help but feel the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. The quest for justice was a symphony, and she was its conductor, seeking to bring harmony to the discord that had shattered this once quiet neighborhood. With every step she took, the rhythms of determination and dedication pulsed through her veins. The detective's arrival marked the beginning of a relentless pursuit, a journey into the heart of darkness where the notes of truth awaited discovery. Detective Sarah Lawson's investigation was now in full swing, and the crime scene whispered its enigmatic secrets as she ventured deeper into the abyss of the unknown. The rhythm of her footsteps echoed through the hallway as she meticulously examined every detail. Her gloved fingers traced the edges of a shattered vase, capturing the melody of fragility and destruction that had unfolded here. In the kitchen, the detective's eyes fell upon a stained knife, its blade tarnished by the crimson symphony of violence. She carefully collected it as evidence, the rhythmic clinking of metal against metal underscoring the gravity of her task. With each piece of evidence she gathered, Sarah was composing a symphony of truth, a harmony of facts and clues that would lead her to the heart of the mystery. Photographs, journals, and letters spoke in their silent rhythms, offering glimpses into the lives of the victim and potential suspects. Witnesses, too, became instruments in this investigative orchestra. Sarah conducted interviews with the neighbors, each testimony a note in the evolving composition of her understanding. The rhythms of fear, curiosity, and uncertainty colored their words. As days turned into nights and the investigation deepened, Sarah delved into the victim's past, an intricate web of relationships, secrets, and motives. Family and friends became key players in the narrative, each with their own rhythm and motive. The detective's investigation spread its tendrils beyond the crime scene, casting its net wide to capture elusive clues. She scoured the digital world, analyzing emails, texts, and social media accounts, searching for digital footprints that might unravel the mystery. The rhythms of dedication and determination drove her forward, even as obstacles and red herrings tried to lead her astray. Sarah's mind was a symphony of analysis and deduction, and the cadence of her investigation continued to build, creating a crescendo of anticipation. With every revelation, the detective grew closer to the truth, yet the harmonious resolution remained just out of reach. The mystery deepened, its rhythms growing more complex and haunting. As Detective Sarah Lawson's investigation gained momentum, the once muted rhythms of secrets and lies began to crescendo, revealing hidden melodies within the lives of those connected to the victim. Sarah's office, illuminated by a solitary desk lamp, was a symphony of information. Photographs, documents, and evidence boards adorned the walls, forming a visual composition of the unfolding mystery. The detective's mind buzzed with a rhythmic pattern of deduction and curiosity. Her interviews with the victim's family and friends had unraveled threads of intrigue. Each revelation painted a new stroke in the intricate portrait of the victim's life, a life filled with complexities and contradictions. Hidden affairs, concealed debts, and long-held grudges emerged as discordant notes within the investigation. The detective's meticulous nature allowed her to piece together these fragments, weaving a narrative of motives and deceit. One by one, the potential suspects took center stage in the investigation, their stories intertwining like a polyphonic composition. Their alibis were scrutinized, and their motives dissected in search of the haunting rhythms that might lead to the truth. In the heart of the victim's personal effects, Sarah discovered a diary, a clandestine symphony of thoughts and emotions. Its pages whispered secrets of love, betrayal, and longing, revealing the victim's own melody within the web of intrigue. The detective's digital analysis bore fruit as well, uncovering encrypted messages and deleted correspondence. The rhythms of technology yielded clues that pointed to hidden alliances and covert communications. Yet, the more Sarah uncovered, the more complex the composition became. As she delved deeper into the lives of the suspects, she realized that the mystery was not merely a melody but an intricate symphony of human emotions, desires, and desperation. Each twist in the investigation added layers to the composition, a crescendo of suspense that kept Sarah and her team on edge. Red herrings and false leads created dissonance in the otherwise harmonious pursuit of truth. As Detective Sarah Lawson continued to peel back the layers of the mysterious murder, the investigation took unexpected twists and turns, like the intricate melodies of a suspenseful symphony. The detective's office, with its walls adorned with evidence and strings connecting suspects, resembled a complex musical composition waiting to be harmonized. Her unwavering determination provided the rhythm that carried her through each revelation. Witnesses offered contradictory testimonies, each note of uncertainty adding to the dissonance of the case. Alibis crumbled, and motives shifted like elusive melodies, challenging the detective's pursuit of the truth. Sarah found herself retracing her steps, reviewing evidence, and questioning her own deductions. The rhythms of frustration and determination warred within her as the elusive answers remained just out of reach. New suspects emerged from the shadows, their motives intertwining with those already in the spotlight. The web of potential culprits grew ever more intricate, like a multi-layered composition played by unseen hands. Red herrings danced through the investigation, leading Sarah down unexpected paths. A stolen necklace, a mysterious phone call, and a hidden letter created a discordant symphony of misdirection. Amidst the chaos, the detective's intuition became her guiding melody. She followed the faint rhythms of truth, picking up subtle cues and overlooked details that had been overshadowed by the cacophony of deception. The detective's late nights were filled with contemplation, her thoughts a symphony of possibilities and doubts. The truth was elusive, slipping through her fingers like a fleeting musical note. Yet, Sarah refused to relent. The rhythms of dedication and perseverance fueled her determination. With each new twist and turn, she was one step closer to unraveling the mystery that had gripped her heart. In the midst of the intricate web of clues, red herrings, and contradictions, Detective Sarah Lawson finally caught a faint, elusive melody, a glimmer of hope in the relentless pursuit of truth. Sarah's office, with its evidence boards and strings of connections, had transformed into a musical score waiting to be played. Her relentless dedication had been the steady rhythm, and now, that rhythm was about to crescendo. She revisited the testimonies and evidence, meticulously retracing her steps. As she studied a seemingly insignificant detail, a rhythm of realization began to pulse within her. It was a subtle, almost imperceptible note that she had overlooked before. The detective revisited a key witness, pressing for more information. Like a skilled conductor, she coaxed forth a crucial piece of information, a detail that had been buried beneath layers of deception. It was a breakthrough, a resounding note of revelation. The new lead sent her on a new path, chasing the elusive truth through a labyrinth of secrets. It led to a hidden compartment in the victim's home, where a cache of letters and diaries lay concealed. The writings were a symphony of emotions, revealing a long-forgotten relationship, a harmony of love and betrayal. The more Sarah delved into these newly discovered documents, the more the composition of the murder began to take shape. Motives, once obscured by the cacophony of deception, now resonated clearly like a well-orchestrated melody. The detective's office buzzed with the energy of newfound determination. Her team worked tirelessly to piece together the final movements of the victim and the suspects, creating a harmonious narrative of events leading to the crime. With each revelation, the complex composition of the murder came into focus. Sarah felt the rhythm of justice growing stronger, driving her forward with unwavering purpose. The breakthrough was not without challenges. As she neared the truth, suspects grew desperate, and the investigation took unexpected twists. The rhythms of tension and suspense remained, creating a haunting melody in the background. But Sarah knew that she was closing in on the final crescendo, where the truth would be revealed in all its clarity. The elusive melody of the mysterious murder was about to be played in full, and justice would prevail. As the rhythms of the investigation reached a crescendo, Detective Sarah Lawson stood at the threshold of the truth, ready to confront the suspects and unravel the enigma of the mysterious murder. The detective's office buzzed with activity as her team prepared to bring the suspects in for questioning. The evidence boards and strings of connections now formed a visual symphony of facts and deductions, guiding the final movements of the investigation. One by one, the prime suspects were brought into the interrogation room, a chamber of tension where the rhythms of truth and deception would dance in a delicate balance. Sarah observed each suspect with a keen eye, seeking to decipher their motives hidden beneath the surface. The interviews were a symphony of emotions, each suspect composing their own melody of innocence or guilt. The detective's questions were like notes, played with precision, extracting confessions and alibis in equal measure. As the interviews unfolded, the intricate composition of the murder began to take shape. The suspects' stories intertwined and clashed, creating a complex tapestry of motives and alibis. Sarah's intuition served as the guiding melody, directing her toward the final reveal. In the midst of the confrontations, a key piece of evidence emerged, a long-lost recording from a security camera that captured a critical moment on the night of the murder. The playback revealed a shadowy figure entering the victim's home, casting a spectral note of suspicion over the suspects. The detective's relentless pursuit of truth now reached its zenith. With the evidence, testimony, and her own deductive skills as her guide, Sarah prepared to unveil the final composition of the mysterious murder. In a dramatic climax, the detective gathered all the suspects in a single room, a symphony of anticipation. She presented the evidence, revealed the motives, and exposed the hidden melodies of the night the victim met their fate. Tensions soared as the suspects confronted their own roles in the crime, their voices rising and falling in discordant confession and denial. The rhythm of revelation was electrifying, filling the room with the intensity of the moment. And then, like the final note of a grand symphony, the truth was revealed, the identity of the murderer and the motives that had driven them to commit the heinous act. It was a moment of resolution, where the haunting mystery was at last unraveled. With the revelation of the murderer and the motives behind the mysterious murder, the symphony of the investigation finally reached its resolution, a harmonious finale that brought justice to the haunting melody of the crime. The detective's office, once a whirlwind of clues and evidence, now bore witness to the conclusion of the case. The evidence boards were dismantled, and the strings of connections were untangled, symbolizing the end of an intricate composition. The legal proceedings began, and the suspect faced their day in court. The rhythms of justice played out as witnesses testified, presenting their own melodies of truth. The courtroom became the stage for the final act, where the haunting echoes of the crime were laid to rest. As the trial unfolded, the suspect's confession and the evidence presented were a crescendo of truth that resonated with the jury in the courtroom. The verdict, delivered in a solemn rhythm, was one of guilt, and the murderer faced the consequences of their actions. The victim's family, who had endured the entire symphony of the investigation, finally found closure. Their grief, once a discordant note in their lives, began to transform into a mournful but healing melody. Detective Sarah Lawson, the conductor of this intricate investigation, felt a sense of fulfillment. The rhythms of dedication and perseverance had led to the harmonious resolution she had pursued relentlessly. The community, once held captive by the mystery, breathed a collective sigh of relief. The haunting melody that had plagued their neighborhood had finally been silenced, replaced by a somber but comforting sense of closure.